You know, I've often wondered if the DC's animated Batman universe could have something that could rival the live-action Dark Knight movie. You know, I think I may have found the answer.
The story, like most Batman animation tales, are very dark in nature, and this does keep to that tone, but this is by far the darkest Batman story in animation to date, with how the characters are and how they got to these positions that they are in. The Dark Knight himself has always been a dark character based upon his origins and how he carries out his vigilante duty.
However, as we all know so well, Batman follows a very strong moral code that he will do anything to get the job done, but not at the expense of a life being wasted.
Red Hood, however, does not share that code of morality and has no problem whatsoever wasting people in order to get his objectives carried out.
Those are the heads of all your lieutenants. That took me 2 hours. You want to see what I can get done in a whole evening?
The adaptation is based off A Death in the Family and Under the Hood storylines from the comics, of which saw the death and return of Jason Todd, the second Robin. There were 2 phone lines to call and register votes whether Jason should be killed off or not, as he was not well received by the fans at all. And, this quote from Wikipedia, over 10,000 votes were cast, with the final vote being 5,343 votes for Jason to die over 5,271 for him to live.
So, it's fair to presume that they all thought Jason Todd was a douchebag. It should be noted that this is the first appearance of Jason Todd in any movie or TV show about Batman.
I really like the emotional and moral weight that Batman carries throughout this story, as he blamed himself specifically for Jason's life and death, even though those closest to him would reassure him that this is far from the truth, you are not to blame.
This is actually refreshing to see Ra's al Ghul have an attack of conscience, as he did not see the Joker's dark intentions that led to the murder of Jason.
The other aspects that are entertaining, that this is a much more volatile version of mobster Black Mask, who has no problem whatsoever assaulting his own staff for mishaps in his operations, the Joker being a lot darker than what we're normally accustomed to, and to see the lengths that Red Hood goes to get Joker out of Arkham just so he can take revenge for what took place 5 years beforehand, just shows how angry and vengeful he is for not only him being killed, but also being taken away from his mentor.
As soon as Greenwood uttered his first few lines in this movie, I was completely wowed and utterly sold on him as Batman.
He was dark, gritty, in your face, and more importantly, you could understand him. I like to think of Greenwood as that darker Batman when compared to Kevin Conroy's portrayal. Now, Conroy is iconic and legendary and is Batman for all the work he has done. But Greenwood was just perfect for this flick, given the nature and tone of this story.
Lie to me again, and crashing into a wall head-on will be the least painful activity of your evening.
This guy needs to do more voiceover roles. He's that good.
His pitch and delivery is just amazing, with the way he made Red Hood dark, sadistic, and no nonsense. You kind of feel sympathy for what Jason has gone through, but at the same time you don't approve of his methods and that he's flown one too many times over the cuckoo's nest.
This is quite possibly the best voiceover role of the Joker since Mark Hamill. You'll recognise John DiMaggio from his days as Bender on Futurama, and you get the sense this guy is enjoying his role just that little bit too much.
Please tell the big man I said hello.
But as I've said so many times before, when an actor is enjoying their role, their performance shines, and DiMaggio's is no exception. I really like this version of Raish. You get the sense of moral weight radiating from him, having learnt what happened to the boy, and how he wanted to rectify the situation by resurrecting him from the Lazarus pit, but feeling more guilt for what the effects of bringing him back into the world had done to him.
Isaacs gives a really solid performance, and he convinces you that he has actually lived this himself and really put so much energy into this role, and he makes Raish seem more human. Well, hello there, MTV Spider-Man. Long time no see. Harris is very likeable and charming with his vocal performance as Dick Grayson, and is only one of a few handful of people to voice Dick Grayson in his Nightwing years.
I'm chatty. It's part of my charm.
It's just a pity he didn't get more screen time, as he added so much needed humour whenever it got too brooding, and in the case of a Batman movie there is a lot of that, but we all know that by now. Well, I learned something from this movie. Don't ever take Black Mask off unless you want missing teeth or bloody noses.
You'd almost think that Wade was irritated with something during this performance, as he did seem legitimately angry whilst he was giving his delivery. The look of Batman animated movies is what we've come to expect from as an extension from the animated series years going back as far as 1992. It's a very dark palette, making Gotham feel like this dank, corrupt and dirty city that Batman is always fighting to make law-abiding and just.
There is a little more colour added to this when there are scenes with characters drawing bloods after fights or just being taken out. This is by far one of the best Batman animated scores to date, as you get this sense where there are scenes of contemplation or atonement for what characters have gone through, and to when Jason forces Batman to make a decision whether to kill him or the Joker, and it really makes the scene feel more intense. This is a Batman flick I could watch easily again and again, and after 4 years it's just as dark and intense as it was when it was originally released in 2010. Batman Under the Red Hood gets a must. Thanks for watching.